How to date for the relationship that you want, part two. So, last week we talked about unconditional respect, emotional and physical intimacy, and emotional and physical safety as three very important pillars of a true love relationship. If you haven't watched last week's video, please make sure you do. But also, let me just repeat and reiterate the whole purpose of this conversation is to understand that when you are dating, you are not just dating for a person. If it's just about meeting someone, you didn't care about what it was like to be with that someone, then dating would be easy. You'd be like, okay, I met someone, right? But what you actually care about is the relationship that you have with that person. And that is what we're talking about. And that is why these elements are so important. So let's dive right in. Next up on the list is commitment. So when you are dating someone, you want to be very upfront about the type of commitment that you are seeking. This is not the time to play it cool. This is not the time to say, oh, yeah, I mean, if I meet somebody, it would be nice to be committed. Like, no, what do you want? What do you actually want? Like, claim that. And if you are somebody who is ready for a committed relationship, then say that up front, because what you also want to see is what is the person that you're dating ready for? Now, commitment is important because if you don't have a level of a commitment that you have agreed to, the container, the baseline of your relationship, then it's very difficult to have the emotional and physical intimacy and to feel that sense of safety that you are seeking, because this person could just go away at any moment if you don't have any established level of commitment. So while you're dating, you want to make sure that you are being upfront about the level of commitment that you are seeking. And you want to pay attention to what the other person says. One of the biggest cop outs in dating is when people say, oh, well, if I met the right person, I would, sure, I would commit. It's like, obviously, if you have standards, you're not going to be excited to commit to somebody who you know is the wrong person, who says, yeah, I just want commitment, even if it's with the wrong person. Like, I think we can all agree that we're talking about finding the right person. One challenge that people have in talking about commitment in early dating is the sense that, well, if I say that I want to be committed, then this person is going to think that I'm putting pressure on them. And I actually think that the more that you can just own the fact that you're ready for a commitment and you're not making it about the other person, you don't even know this other person yet. You don't know if you're going to want to be committed to them, but you're just putting it out there. I mean, the analogy that I use is if you were shopping for a house, you wouldn't go to houses that you don't know are for sale and just start like measuring for drapes and like planning how you would remodel the kitchen. You'd at least be like, hey, is this house for sale? Doesn't mean you want to buy it. You haven't even checked out the whole house yet. You haven't even done the inspection. You haven't even figured out what it's like to live inside this house or be in this physical space. But you want to just know that up front because you don't want to waste your time getting all excited about a house that they're like, oh no, this house isn't for sale. It's like, oh, well, I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to pressure you. No, it's not about pressure. Like, being a mature adult is recognizing that you have needs, and expressing those needs is not a sign of weakness. And if anybody is freaked out by you saying, yeah, I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready for a commitment, if they're freaked out by that, then they're doing you a favor, because guess what? They are not. Right. And so you don't want to waste your time getting attached to somebody who's going to say, whoa, 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 I never said I wanted commitment. So you want to actually prioritize the people who can also articulate that they are at a place in their lives, just like you, where they are ready for commitment. And with that, you can now start to say, okay, now we can explore and we can have this agreed upon container. Like, if things work out, this is the direction that we are heading. Next up is joy. So, joy is really just that ability to feel good feelings, right? Gratitude is part of joy. Love is part of joy. Happiness is part of joy. But joy is not dependent on happy outcomes all the time, right? Joy is something that you're able to tap into within yourself. And the more that you're able to cultivate your own joy, I mean, I'm a very, very, very big believer that on your dating journey, you don't want to be laser focused on dating to the exclusion of everything else. So lean into your other relationships to the extent that you can, have good times with your friends, follow those creative instincts. If you're like, gosh, I just really have always wanted to take a drawing class, go take a drawing class, go and explore and find your own joy, because not only does that bring more happiness to your life, but it also makes you more magnetic to other people. And you also want to invest in people who can find their joy within themselves as well. Because then when you come together, two joyful people, it doesn't mean happy all the time, but two people who have that ability to access their own inner joy, their own inner light, then you come together and it's like, oh, now it's amplified and it's so much more joyful to be together, right? And it feels better to be together. And you're not looking to your partner to say, well, it's your job to make me happy, when you are maybe neglecting yourself, you're neglecting your passions, you're neglecting your own other relationships, you're ignoring all those nudges that are saying, oh, this is just something I feel like I want to explore, or this is something I'm curious about, right? That is our responsibility. If you're bringing your own joy and somebody else is bringing their joy, mwah, that is exactly what you want. Next is adoration. Now, adoration is just when you just adore someone, you're like, oh, I just like this person is just, they're so amazing, right? And just that sense of being seen and valued and cherished as the special person that you are, and somebody who can see that in you, and they just adore you. They adore your quirks, they adore your personality, they adore the way that you move through the world. That is like the juicy stuff, right? That feels so good. Even just talking about it gets me like so excited, feels warm and fuzzy. So that adoration is something that you deserve. And so you are looking to invest emotionally in people when you're dating, that you're like, wow, this person really likes me. If you have to question, if you're like, do they even like me? Like maybe they're attracted to me, or maybe there's things about me that they like, but I don't know that they actually are excited to be around me, then that is a sign that the adoration that you actually deserve is not present. And that's not about you, that's on them, but you deserve it. And you also want to obviously feel that same way towards your partner. Don't you want to adore them? You do, right? This is true love that we're talking about here. This is not being in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. So adoration is key. And last but certainly not least is unconditional love. Now, let me say, when we talk about unconditional love in our society, in our culture, we usually think it means that you are like unconditionally feeling like so loving towards this person at all times. No, feelings are going to fluctuate, right? Take the person that you love the most in life. There are times in life where the love is not top of mind, right? What's top of mind is how annoyed you might be or how disappointed you might be, because we are human and those things are inevitable. But just like unconditional respect, which we talked about in the first video, unconditional love is a baseline. So it means that I'm going to treat you with love even at those times where I'm so annoyed at you or I'm so mad at you. Because love is more than a feeling, love is also a verb. So treating someone with love can be boundaries, right? Treating with someone with love can be like, listen, I care about you, but I also need time to process what's happening. So unconditional love, one way to understand what a loving action is to think of what is the unloving version of it. Sometimes we learn by the positive example, and sometimes we learn by the negative example, right? So the positive example might be, okay, I know that it's very loving to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. So maybe I'm upset about something that my partner did, and I'm getting all worked up because I'm like, oh, they did it because of this, that, and the other. And I say, okay, actually, more loving approach to this would be like, okay, let me give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's talk about this, and let me see like what's really going on here. And maybe you might learn from the fact of like, well, I know that when I'm in a relationship with somebody and they get really angry at me, and then they start bringing up everything they've ever not liked about me, and now they're just barraging me with all of these, you know, all of these complaints and all these grievances, that doesn't feel very loving. So maybe I won't do that, right? So we are not here to have all of the perfect answers, but I do believe that we are all on a spiritual journey. And that journey is to teach us to learn how to be more loving, to be more skilled at love and giving it and receiving it. And I think that romantic love is an amazing place and testing ground for our ability to do that. So obviously, we're talking about true love. Unconditional love is part of that. And it does not mean that you're going to be together forever. It does not mean that you live happily ever after, but it does mean that you agree that we are going to treat each other with love to the extent that we can, because we're human and we're not perfect, but that is the agreement. And that creates so much safety. And that creates such great feelings of intimacy. And that creates a container for respect and joy and commitment and all of the other things that we've been talking about here. So I hope this resonates with you. If it does, please let me know in the comments. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. I will be back next week with another video. And also stay tuned because your heart work, which is a reflection question for you to go a little bit deeper into today's video, is coming up right now. Thanks for watching.